Welcome to another episode of the Modern Father Podcast. I got my boy, Injury Man. He's got a story to tell. We've been off for a week, but it feels good to actually, get some sun and chill. But hey, Benji, how you doing, Denver's finest? Tell me a story real quick. Tell our audience what happened.
Well, I apologize for our late episode. I have been recovering from a knee injury. So this is a kind of a funny story. So last week, as many other schools experienced, we had a teacher shortage, right? So I had a lot of teachers out, did not have any subs. I'm looking through the list, could not find somebody to sub for 6th period PE. So I tell the office staff who organized it, I was like, hey, if you can't find anyone, I'll do it, whatever. I'll go, I'll hang out with the kids in the gym, no big deal. So they couldn't figure anyone else out, so I ended up subbing. I'm going there. Kids are like, hey, let's play 3-on-3. So first I'm going through the list, right? I'm doing attendance, and I realized one of the kids who was about to play 3-on-3 is skipping his class to be in gym. So I'm like, wait a minute, dude, you're not even supposed to be in here. Bye. So I sent him away. The kids are like, oh man, he was our 6th player. I was like, well, he has to go to class. I was like, you know what? I'll play. I was like, I'm not gonna try hard. I'm gonna be fine. I have gym shoes on. I'm not gonna go too hard. So I'm going. We're playing, and I'm doing all right. Right? I'm trying to get them more involved. I'm passing the ball around. I'm not really jumping on rebounds. Taking my time. Just cleaning up the boards, putting it back up. A couple of outside jumpers. Nothing too crazy. Starting to get warmed up. Right? I'm starting to break a little sweat, dog. And I'm like, I start feeling good, right? I start feeling myself. Hit 3. Wow, like all net. I was like, man, that felt good, man. I started, I go for a rebound. I actually tried a little bit harder. Snatched the rebound from this kid who's like, probably like 5'11". I'm 5'9", so I'm a little taller than him. I snatch it. Felt good. I get the ball at the top left. So the top left, the 3-point from the elbow. Start dribbling. This kid started trying to reach on me. Oh man, here we go. Bro, tell me why I cross him over, right? I got a kid in the corner looking for a pass. So I go, and as I gather, I fake the pass. I get the other kid to follow the fake. I get him. Then I got the 5'11" 8th grader under the basket, and I go over him with the jelly roll. Jelly roll right over him. Goes in. But when I land, all I heard was like I stepped on a bag of hot Cheetos. All I heard crack, and I was like, took a deep ass breath, and I was like, game over. and the funny thing is like right after that, we had a fire alarm go off. We had a fire drill. And I had to walk my ass across campus, limping, in pain. But I made the layup. That's all that matters is I crossed this kid, faked the other kid, and went over the top. And and that was the first time I kind of like stepped into 2nd and 3rd gear on that play, and it felt so good. I was like, whoo, whoo, whoo. Went over on his little ass, and he was salty. And then I landed, bro. I didn't even land awkwardly. It's not like I landed on my side of my foot or something. I landed how I should have landed. And it's just my knee just gave out. And I think it's just that extra motion. I haven't hooped in forever. Or like jumped with some urgency in a long time. And I just felt like
It's always half speed.
Oh my God. That hurts so bad. So I've been limping around. I got a sprained knee. Woke up Thursday. I could barely get out of bed. Call workman's comp, and I was like, yo, sub it, and I got hurt. This is even worse, bro. I go to workman's comp, I go to the doctor's office. I'm in there with all these burly ass men, construction workers, blew their back out trying to lift like 600 pounds. They're all rough and rugged and shit. And then I'm over there because I was playing pickup basketball with 8th graders. And I'm over there. That shit is bogus as hell. I'm over there all limping. I could not walk, dude. They got me on a cane. Bro, I gotta wear a cane. I had PT Thursday. I had PT Friday. I have PT Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. And tomorrow morning, I got to go back to the doctor. He got to check me out.
How's this affecting your little girl? And, like,
it's terrible.
Your care.
Bro, on Thursday it was terrible because she, like any other probably little infant, most of y'all experience, your kid wants you to stand the whole goddamn time. So my wife's trying to get some things taken care of in the house, and I'm carrying the baby, and she's just crying and whining, and I know as soon as I stand up, bro, she's gonna stop. But it was in so much pain to stand with her and rock. I just feel like a needle in my knee, just over and over and over. And I was like, oh, you little shithead right now. Like, can we sit down? And every time I try to sit back down, it's and I'll stand up. And as soon as I get up, and I'm sitting there like just grimacing, like biting my lip and just like rocking her and just waiting for her to fall asleep. Because as soon as she goes to sleep, then I can sit down. And that was hard. Getting up in the morning, right, to like get her in the morning, like I don't have time to like stretch it out. I'm supposed to stretch it out before I get up, but depending on how much noise she's making, I don't have that opportunity to sit there and stretch it out and do 3 sets of 30 for 30 seconds and stretch my knee out before putting weight on it. So that kind of hurts, but that's it's getting better though. So I think I got over the hump, and then I've been doing my own PT. I went into the pool, did some laps, running backwards, trying to do some like jumps in the water, just trying to strengthen the knee up, stretching as much as I can, icing, every hour trying to ice. But it was rough, dude. Wednesday when I injured myself, and Thursday, Friday was rough. It was brutal. Still walking with the cane, right? I gotta wear it until I have to use it until I can walk normal. That's his recommendation. I'm on desk duty. Like if you look at my paperwork, it literally says sitting 8.5 hours a day. So like when I get to back to work next week around spring break, I'm just gonna be like, well, I don't need this radio. Just bring the kids to me. They do something, y'all go take care of it. Bring it to me, and I'll take it over.
Damn, man, that injuries suck, and that's what's keeping me out of like adult leagues, and like keeping me, just working out and just stretching and stuff like that, because like I couldn't imagine like going up and down the stairs like in this place like with a lower leg injury. Also, I couldn't imagine dealing with like Cairo, little man, how he's just running around just all crazy and stuff like that. So man, kudos to you, man. Heal up, dude, and like ice, keep the rehab stance going in the pool, go consult was that famous knee doctor at Alabama. He used to do all the ACL tear injuries.
I know I don't know his name.
Yeah, Andrews. I think it's Dr. Andrews. He used to be like the certified guy. It's like if you had your knee injury, you go right to him. So yeah, man. Like I wish you the best, man, because I know that shit sucks, bro. That sucks.
Yeah, it's been bad, but I mean, outside of that, everything else is good with the baby. She's growing. Uh-huh. She got her shots last week. Mm-hmm. So she got her shots on Monday. So she got her 2-month. She had a 2-month appointment. It was awesome. So she got her shots done. She took them like a champ. She screamed for like a good, 10, 15 seconds, and then I gave her that bottle, and she was like, she forgot about it.
Right.
She gained her weight. She's like 11 pounds now. So that's good.
Damn, dude, that's so crazy. Like Cairo didn't get to 11 pounds in like 4 or 5. Like I think it was like the second visit, but he actually like got over that. Like he's a skinny kid, bro. He's skinny.
Oh no, she's a little. I got a little linebacker in the making, a little rugby player, and she's 11 pounds, dude.
I got a kicker.
Oh yeah, nah, she's getting her softball body, and she's she's 11 pounds. She's eating 5 ounce water bottle. She's eating 5 ounce milk, 5 ounces of milk of feeding. And she's taking them things down.
When are you guys gonna do the puree?
I think that's not until like 6 months, right? 5-6 months. So we still got a minute to go. We got about 4 more months of just straight milk. But she's hitting it at 5 ounces right now. Sleeping better. I mean, last night she slept from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. That was the first time she woke up for a feeding, and then slept again till 9. So that was good. But she's smiling finally.
There you go.
Yeah, she's fine. We're finally getting that. She's cooling and smiling. She hit all her 2-month milestones. Neck strong. Probably still ahead of the curve for that. The head control. Definitely knows where her hands are. She's figured that out. Mm-hmm. Still following really well. So she's doing good, man. She's getting big.
Yeah.
It's adorable. She's starting to get to the fun part.
Right.
Like we got over that newborn. She's no longer considered a newborn. So she's over that newborn hump.
Right.
So it's been nice.
Getting to know the world and getting to lay out the world. And then you're going to get the touchy-feely portion, the curiosity. It's amazing. Yeah.
Personality starting to show. You're right.
Yep.
She's starting to, develop and actually into a little person. So it's, I've been loving it these last few days when she's actually been smiling. I'm over here in pain and she's just smiling and giggling, and it's cool.
How's like the whole adjustment period? Like I remember last time we talked that you said you feel like you like sometimes you're just like, wow, like, I have a kid, like you're kind of like stunned by that. Like how are you adjusting now? Like it's been a couple more weeks.
I mean, it's definitely real, right? But I still get caught up in the moment. Like I can't believe this is real. Like it feels like that. Like, man, I can't believe this is real right now. I get the privilege of like holding you and helping, guiding you, and just being here with you. And I have somebody now that I care more about than myself. Mm-hmm. Unconditionally. And that's dope. It's really cool. So it's getting better. It's getting, I guess, less of a shock every time. Mm-hmm. But I still have moments. I would say, especially like when I'm sleeping, like really knocked out, and I just hear her cry. And I was like, oh damn, that's her. Like, here comes daddy. And it's just like I think it's more of just setting in, like this is a forever thing. This is not like I'm babysitting someone else's kid or something that there's no ending. You know? And like we talked about this before, where I get stuck on like ends, right? I get stuck on like the end of something, and this is like never ending. It's always gonna keep transforming and changing and developing and growing as she gets older. Mm-hmm. So it's just understanding and accepting that this is a lifetime journey.
No, it's a fun journey. It's amazing journey, and like so some parts that are getting annoying. Like right now, I'm getting diaper changes are like more of I gotta watch out if I'm gonna get pissed on or not. Like dude is like literally saving for his diaper to like come off. Like I'll be, it's like this last time I told you, man, I'm changing this shit diaper, and then all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, damn, like dude, watch out, bro. Like why you wait till like that time? But overall, man, oh dude, funny story, man. Took him to Jamboree, right?
Oh yeah,
first time
you brought it up.
Yeah. So I took him out there. I was like, bro, we ready? Like it's going down. Let's go, man. Like we're gonna do this. It was a crawling and first time standing class, and have him in there. And like there was about maybe 5 other couples in there with 5 babies. Like there's actual mom and dad there. There's moms galore. And I was like, all right, like he's ready. Let's do this. I sit him down, and our first thing to do is put him on this like long like tube, and we just put him on top there, and it works on their core muscles, and they try to stay on. And he's doing that, and this other black baby is like right next to him, and this black baby's just wailing, crying, just ah! He looks at this baby, like this baby was like acting a fool, like you crazy baby, and he looked back at me, and he looked back at the baby, and he looked back at me, and then he just crying the whole time. It was 40 minutes of just like tears, crying, sensory overload. Music was blasting. They were playing like some like not hip hop, but like just like more of like the dance.
Yeah.
Like, 2010 dance music, and then like the instructor's just like, yeah, let's go, let's go. And like just all the babies around him, moms like talking, and dude, it was just too much for him because he's been in my room, like the whole time, like or like downstairs, or like he would go on walks and he hears me chopping it up. It's serene. It's
and you
calm.
guys are quiet. You guys are quiet people.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we ain't crazy like that. I wish I'm in my old man mode. Like the craziest I get is like on this podcast where I'm like at the games. But yeah, man, it was sensory overload. So then the second time I was like, all right, we're gonna prepare the whole week. We're preparing. Like we're putting the music loud in the room. Like we're gonna go in the play structure on our little walk. I don't care if you're too young for it, but we're gonna try it and just dude, prepared him. Then Wednesday came. He was like a whole new person. Like he was playing with all the toys. He was going all the structures. He was doing a bunch of things. So he adjusted very well the second time. Super proud of the kid. We're about to go again with my neighbor on next Wednesday. This Wednesday coming up. So very excited. I'll let everybody know how he does. But man, he was killing it. So.
Did he have a preference? Did you like? There was just something that you saw he really enjoyed?
Yeah, he has this little tactile green ball. You know, those balls with little spikies all over it.
Yeah.
And like he just fell in love with that. Fell in love with it. And like so wherever he wanted to go, or didn't want to go, if he wanted to stay there and play the ball, I just snatched that ball out of his hands and then like put it like on top of like a ramp. And I'd be like, all right, man, climb the ramp. And you just go up there and go get it. And then like there was another play structure where like you had to climb up these stairs and then climb like up this like bridge. It was like a pretty like dangerous bridge if you don't have your kid like right behind them like watching them and stuff. And dude, I just put it on top of the stairs. He wouldn't have got that. And then I put it over across the bridge. Boom, 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 boom. Military crawled like through that. Dude was like everywhere. But you know what scared me though? I honestly was scared. There was a woman and there was a kid. And this woman came decked out in like she was like 24-hour fitness like gym gear, like just decked out. Like, and I was like, man, like, what? I wonder why did she just go to the gym and just come here? You know, like, what the hell? Dude, this kid, oh my God. He was only like, I think 18 months old. And he was bam, boom, 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 just everywhere. Scared the living daylights out of me, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, this kid scared me. And I was
like, you thought he was gonna like trample over your kid or something?
No, I just thought he was like, if this is my son at 18 months old, like, I gotta get ready. You know, like physically, mentally, like this kid was everywhere, and like I'm putting him in sports. Like he's gonna be playing with 5-year-olds. If this kid had coordination, he was like Barry Sanders of like kids. Like he was actually making cut moves. I was like, what? Like I was like your son is like a phenom. Like he's a track superstar. Like what is he doing here? And he's like, oh, I just gotta find something to do because it's a windy ass day. I get why he was inside because it was super windy. But like I was like, man, if my son is like that at like 16, 18 months, dude, we're doing sports right away. We're not even playing. It's sports right away. I don't care if you're playing with older kids. You're playing sports. And
so she was dressed ready to go to chase.
Oh, dude, she was ready to go, and she was sweating. It was bad, man. It was so bad. Like this kid was everywhere. I was a super kid. I was like, dude, like if this is gonna be my life in like maybe like 5-6 months, like me and my long term need to be prepared. Like so I get my cardio up and stuff. So yeah, man, it was a crazy last week. I'm glad to hear you guys are all doing well, and I'm glad to see your knees healing up. And yeah, man, it's a good little warm up.
I can't wait. I can't wait to do stuff like that.
You say it, but like it's tough because he's already getting his stuff already. He's like already turning on like the bathtub a faucet. You turn your neck and he tries to get down the hallway. Like already, like he literally like will know like, hey, he's like they're talking about something right now, and then you just hear this like crawling motions, and then like you just see him beeline for the door, and it's like, all right, no, close the door. Just little things like we're baby proofing the house like as we go because you have to, you know, like there's just so much that he can get into, and then there's so much that he learns so fast that you just have to keep baby proofing and keep baby proofing. So it's crazy, man. You'll get it. Like at first it's cool because they'll like do little 360s and everything, and like you'll see your daughter like doing all kinds of
real
like,
quick,
cool
at what month did he start turning over?
Shoo. Oh my goodness gracious.
3, 4?
I think it was 3, 4, and I think it was on the changing table. I think he first started on the changing table because then like we started doing more tummy time at that point. We're just like, all right, like we're gonna start doing some more tummy time. I think it was either like 3.5, 4 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was I I think his first was front to back because he started doing the pop up. Like he would take his left arm and like pop himself over, and then after that it's the back to front. So that's a little bit harder. So,
gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So that tummy time was real.
Yeah, it's something I want to start working on.
Oh yeah. You guys have all the time in the world. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's fun too, man. It's fun doing the tummy time, and then they mimic what you're doing. So like, if you're out there doing like planks and stuff, they're gonna try to plank. Like my kid was in the push-up position like for a while now. Like he still gets in the push-up position. I'm like, yeah, let's go, baby. He's swole. He's so skinny, bro. This little skinny little Skeletor. It's like my body frame, my dad's. Getting into the podcast. Yo, did you hear those rumors about Andrew Wiggins?
Yes.
Okay, so just to freshen up the crowd, these are just rumors. We're not speculating. We're not going to sit here and like promote any rumors because this dude on TikTok, basically aired out like the false claims that Andrew Wiggins' long-term girlfriend was smashing his best friend and two of his kids. Definitely one of them might not be his. And that's why he's been out for the past 17, 18 games now due to personal reasons. So people are airing out this dude on TikTok for spreading that because that's it's just garbage. Like, why are you bringing up this man's family? Something's definitely going on, but like we know it's not that. So I'm gonna put this in a modern father perspective. Is that the worst news a father could hear? Besides, like maybe like your family's been hurt in a tragic accident.
Yeah, that's up there. Sounds really bad. I think it's easier. I wouldn't put that above. This is really bad. This is probably tops. This is up there with neck and neck with like you said, that tragic news of like, your kid got into an accident and they've passed away. Mm-hmm. This is up there with that. I think that barely beats it. Barely. Because dude, that is like you just ripped this man's heart and soul out of his body. He's been taking care of this kid forever, believing that it's his. I don't even know the kid's name. What if they named it, Andrew Jr.? That would be devastating. That would be devastating. That I don't even know what to say, man. That leads to domestic violence.
Yeah.
I don't want to. That catch you a case, man. Especially for, if you already have a bad temper and you have your own issues going on, that can lead to some ugly situations, man. That's terrible. That's a terrible. I hope it's not true. I mean, it can be. It sounds like there's some truth behind it, given that he's been gone for a while. And I feel for him, and I hope he's able to rebound and figure this out. And that's just hard, bro, because those kids they're not babies. I mean, they're like 8, 9 years old. I think they're old. Yeah,
they're older. Especially the oldest one. The oldest one's a little older. Mm-hmm.
So they're already old. That bond is there,
mm-hmm.
right? And like those kids got that bond with you. So now you're like stuck in this position of like you're the only father they knew, right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna abandon them? Because that's easier said than done. I think it's easier said than done to just be like, they're not my kids, I'm gone. I think that's a lot easier said than done.
Okay. That feeling that you get around your daughter, right? It's magical. It's something special. It can't be replaced. Like you said, like this is something that's forever. This is going to be endless, timeless. This is my kid, my flesh and blood. Now, that's what, 2 months?
2 months.
Imagine like 5 to like 6, 7 years, right? And you turn around and somebody's like, well, hey man, like your best bro, not like this is like your best bro, not like some random dude pull up, send you an email like, yo, I'm this girl's coworker and this happened. Like that would hurt me too. But first of all, the best homie, like your number one, your road dog, that dude that you trust with your life, is out there while you're on the road putting in work on dudes, you know, putting up 19 and 6 and 5, you know, and then you come home and like, hey honey, you know, everything's all good. People just lying to your face. Not only just your people, your closest people that you have around you. Just that to me is like the one thing. Now the next thing is, wow, this might not be mine. You ain't lying about domestic violence at that point, man. Like, because like at that point, like there's no therapy that can like heal something like that.
I mean,
That's
there
like,
is. It's just
well,
not,
I mean,
it's gonna
right.
take. I'm talking about that initial shock,
that
initial conversation. You might get a knuckle sandwich right then and there.
Oh, especially the homie, because like the homie's supposed to be out here like protecting and helping, you know, and the homie's extension of your family, you know, and like I know like me, like you got your best friend, like I got like my best friends, you know, and like I'm about to go to like my homie's wedding. Shout out to my boy James, man, getting married. Woo! Dropping names for that boy James. He's getting married. I'm over here being groomsman, but just like, I couldn't imagine, man. I couldn't imagine how that feels, especially now, and also too, times 3 about this. You're in the limelight. Yeah. You're in the public. Like you got Twitter people talking about this. You got like sports pundits talking about this. Like why you're out here missing games. Your teammates are definitely saying the stuff that they're saying out in front. But they're like, hey man, like when are you gonna come back? Like we need you right now, man. We might be even playing. We might even make the playoffs because we're over here dropping games. Oh my goodness gracious, this is all bad. And when I first heard this, like I literally like I can cry for this man. I can shed a tear for this man because like the amount of emotions and feelings that he has is you're right. Therapy will help, but it's gonna take time. A lot of time.
I know a dude who not to the same extent, but I remember him finding out that the kid that he thought was his wasn't his.
What do you do?
He was devastated, bro. He went into a deep depression. And this kid was maybe a year old. It wasn't as long. It wasn't like one of his homies. Some random dude that was messing with his girl at the same time as him, and the baby ended up not being his. Bro, he was devastated, bro. He disappeared from like I didn't see this man for about a year. I didn't see him out and about. We lived in the same neighborhood. I didn't see him around the neighborhood. I didn't see him on social media. I knew his family. So I like every once in a while I go to like one of his like cousins' events and shit. I didn't see him there. I didn't see this man nowhere, bro, because he was so embarrassed to show his face around everybody because he was so proud to be this kid's father. And then he finds out that it wasn't even his. So when I think of this thing with Andrew Wiggins, I feel like this is times 50,000. And I can't imagine how he feels right now, besides wanting to beat the shit out of somebody.
Oh, man.
He's probably never felt less of a man in his life until right now. Right? Like you said, betrayed galore. Just these kids too.
Oh.
Right? These kids, bro, the jokes are out there for days.
Oh,
they go to school. They go to school, man. Like you don't even, you know what I mean? Like those kids are gonna go through it. That's the least of it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be called a bastard than everyone talk whatever else creative shit that kids can come up with for that specific situation. You know, it's just all bad, bro. No one wins.
No one wins, man. What would you do? What would you do from the standpoint of? We'll start with the best friend. What would you do from the standpoint of the best friend? Let's start there.
somebody else I know is gonna whoop his ass, and I'm gonna pay them to do it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna beat the shit out of him really, really bad, and I'm gonna pay somebody because I can't do it myself because I have how many? He has like a 10-figure contract, 11-figure. He's making bank. I don't know what he signed for, but I know he signed for a multi-million 4-year deal, probably like somewhere between $50 and $70 million. Something he gonna get touched. So somebody's gonna get kicked. Somebody's gonna link up with him. Somebody's gonna take care of that for me. And then as far as the old girl goes, I mean, we're done. 100% done. They're not married. So I don't think they're married, right?
They're not married. No,
so not married, and I don't got no kids with you, so you ain't getting shit.
Right.
So you can fall out the game.
Right. What about the kid?
The kids, bro. Then this is gonna be tough. I might break the kids off or something, but I might have to distance myself. But I'm not gonna leave them high and dry. Right. I'm gonna break them off.
Right. Like at that point, it'd be like almost like a college fund, or like when you turn 18, you can open these funds up.
Correct. You know? Only you know what I mean? When you're of age, you can do these things. I'm gonna need. I gotta recuperate from this.
Oh, dude, there's gonna be a lot of recuperation.
So I'm gonna have to cut everyone out, but I will, like you said, put some trust or something in those kids' names.
For sure.
And then I'm going to. Then from there, bro, I guess focus on basketball. Yeah. I focus on basketball. I mean, you hear from athletes all the time. That's like their release, right? That's their therapy. And put it all in there. And I'm dunking on every fucking body in the paint. Everybody who gets in my way, I'm fucking slamming on you hard too, bro. I'm trying to embarrass you as bad as I was embarrassed. I'm dunking on everybody. I'm crossing everybody over. Everything, bro. I'm getting texts. I don't care. I'm going balls to the wall.
Screaming.
Yeah, Monstar, bro. I'm turning into a Monstar. I'm doing the Jordan stretch dunk from Space Jam. You know what I mean? I'm doing all types of shit off the backboard. Belligerent, ignorant basketball is what I'm playing. I'm playing with a vengeance. Oh yeah. Playing with a vengeance. And then after the season, as soon as the season's over, I'm gone. I'm going overseas. I'm gonna go, and then I'm gonna take care of my mentals.
One of those Aaron Rodgers dark room shit, you know?
Yeah, more than he didn't even make it the 4 days.
Right.
Weak ass dude.
Right. I do think about my career.
Yeah, he was in there for 2 days. He left early.
Right. Yeah. It's still gonna come up with a decision like right away. I would agree with that, man. I would definitely be playing with a form of like attention to like just dismantle and destroy people. And it's almost like I'd be in people's faces, like I'd be daring for somebody to punch me. Like I'd be daring for somebody to like, hey, Smith, please.
Yeah, I'm on edge.
Yeah, please. Oh yeah. Like if you even breathe on me wrong, if you say like one thing to me that's like even lighthearted smack talk, like you're gonna get this like smoke, like for reals. And then also too, like I'm overseas. End of season,
I'm gone. Going back to
I'm in
Canada,
the Amazon jungle. Yeah, exactly. I'm out there in like in the Canada of deep mountains and snow. I'm doing all kinds of stuff where I'm just by myself, like for a little bit, or just like I don't know. It'd be so hard for me to trust like the homies. You know what I mean? Like there's so much trauma that comes with that. Just the trusting of anybody at that point, besides like nuclear family, like hey, like you know parents, brothers or sisters, anything like that weren't a part of the situation. But if you had any knowledge of this situation, because I know people knew, you know what I mean? Like there's like, I think people would know. I think people would know, like because like people talk, especially like if you have a homegirl. Like homegirls know more about like what's going on with like your wife or my long-term relationship, because either they talk or they're around and they like, oh hey, something's going on right now. You guys have an argument last night or something like that. They can feel something's off, you know, like they have the homegirl sense, you know, like yeah. So I know somebody from her camp knew. And that's the problem. Is that if the homegirls knew and didn't say nothing, that's also too like, hey man, it's just all bad. It's just all bad. Oh man, it's just all bad. I feel for that boy, man. I hope it's not true. We hope it's all legend. So
I hope it's not true either, man. For the sake of I hope it's not true for the sake of everyone involved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's serious shit. That's like I said, this is a serious like family dynamic that it will be changed forever. Mm-hmm. This is not like some bullshit dating.
No.
Like some shit that can like wasn't even that deep. You know what I mean?
True.
This is deep.
It's deep.
Families. This is kids involved. This is lifestyle. This is investments and futures and nucleus of the family and outcomes for children and all types of shit is going on here. So I hope it's not true, man. It feels like it could be true, but I hope it's not. And I hope Wiggins, I hope you fucking ball out.
I too.
Dunk on everybody, and then if it is true, bro, just get away. Just get away, man. Don't take nobody with you. If you take anybody with you, take a therapist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna take, or like, I hope you have one set up on like teletherapy that you can call on time. I mean, whenever you on your time, whenever you feel like talking, anytime, 24/7. I mean that because that's tough. But I think he needs to get away, find himself, figure that shit out.
Agreed.
Do something for him. He's probably been living for his kids forever.
Now playing for his kids.
Now it's back to focusing on you.
Yep. Yeah, and hopefully, I know Golden State has like a really good team infrastructure, and they probably had like more therapists on site when Draymond Green like punched Jordan Poole in the face. You know, they probably had like team psychologists talking it around like, hey, like we don't want to fracture the team. Like, let's try to talk about this incident and make sure we get a correct dialogue to move forward. I still don't think they recovered from that incident, let alone what's going on with Andrew Wiggins and stuff. So, hey man, kudos to them. Okay. I wake up at night. Cairo, he gets up. And then, he stands up on the railing and he's like, wake up, daddy, it's time for me to eat, So feed him, whatever. Sometimes I can't go back to sleep. I wish I would have kept this article that I read, bro. Crazy shit, right? It just popped up in my little Google feed, my Google News feed. A couple, I don't know their names, we'll call them Karen and Justin, right? A couple, they were married for 6-7 years, roughly. Right? Karen decides to be like, hey, there's somebody at my work. I find him sexually attractive. Why don't you meet this guy and we'll go about it from there. So they meet this guy. We'll call this guy Phineas. Phineas is a big black dude. He's a father. He's got his kid right there. So Phineas starts dating Karen, right? But then also befriends Justin, right? They become a whole nucleus of a family, structure where kids are around kids because they have kids too. And so they become basically an open relationship. How do you feel about open relationships in all? Do you think they're right? Do you think, could you handle the jealousy? We'll go through all the questions and everything, but how do you feel first about open relationships?
Hell no. Hell no, bro. That's some goofy ass shit, man. If it's open, that shit open one way, man. That's my way. Fuck you mean? Hell no, bro. Hell no to the nah. No, thank you, man. I'm not sharing my wife with some dude and just be like, yeah, honey, I'll take all the kids and you over there getting smashed out. Nah. What? Hell no. I've been seeing a lot of stuff like that, nah, bro. No. I'm good. I'm good, bro. No, that's not even. Nah, man. I'm too territorial for that. No, the idea of somebody else with my wife would drive me. I'll punch the fuck out of dude. Like, oh yeah, I agree. Nothing. As soon as I see him touch, I'm gonna smash his face in with the mirror, or I'm gonna hit him with a fucking this rocking chair I'm sitting on. I'm gonna pick that thing up, or beat him with my cane. Now that I got him. What? Come on, bro. Hell no. I don't. And then every time I see when I see it's like a woman with like two dudes, there's always two lame, corny ass dudes. But like. And I see why your ass is cool with this, because you don't probably have too many other options.
Yep.
I don't see no two stud, you know what I'm saying, Michael B. Jordan motherfuckers walking around sharing the same girl and being okay. Hell no. It's always some lame ass, socially awkward dude. And some female who just play both of them. And I wouldn't say playing, because she's being 100, but they're just like two socially awkward dudes who probably just can't talk to nobody. So the fact that you're getting attention in the first place, nah, bro, I can't do that. And that's nah, I don't do it.
No, I don't think either if it's the other way around. Even if there was like another like girl, like or another woman who would want to be a part of the relationship. Like,
no, I don't want that either.
I don't want that either. No, because there's so much like jealousy that can come from that, you know. And then not only that too is like being with long term is like that's like hard. Like that's hard, you know, to like have a relationship, especially for like a long period of time. It is so hard. Now you have two. Now you have to juggle all the emotions, all this stuff, and then you got to make sure that they're right. And I don't have time for that. You know, I have time for little man. I'm doing this podcast. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm going to school. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. I don't have time to juggle. Hey, your emotions and then her emotions, and then like them getting jealous because one of them's getting more time. That is insane. People who do that have a lot of time. Either A, they got a lot of time in their hands. If they're going like two females and a male, right? They have a lot of time on their hands to juggle that. Or I just don't see it happening long term, especially like okay, sexually, all right. What if they're not together and they don't want to do it together? So like one night, like Tuesday, you have one. Next Wednesday night, you have another one. Thursday, you have another one. Friday, another one. Man, where are you out too, bro? I'm 38. You know, I can't. It's hard for me to go like 3-4 times in a week. You know, let alone like all the time. Like you just get worn out. But then like you said though, to go back to like the initial question with the two dudes, there is hell no way. And this is not you're jealous, you're insecure, this. No, it's not that. It's the fact that I am not gonna watch my long term get piped down by some other dude. And what it is, it's cuck, it's simp, it's weak male behavior. If you are okay watching your lady, and it's not your property, but that's your lady. That is your person that you want to procreate with. That is your person that you choose to marry. That's your person that you choose to be with for the rest of your life. Getting defiled by somebody else. No way. And there's no insecurity about that. It's just something that is not me. That is definitely not me. I will not stand for that. But it takes a person to do that, though. You know what I mean? Like you have to be. That's weak-minded shit.
Goofy ass person.
Yeah, it's weak. Exactly. You're hella goofy. You are super gump, super goofy, and
Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm like, even with like the whole 2 wives, hell no, I don't want that shit, bro. I don't want that shit, man. If there's another woman, it's because me, my wife, and we having fun with her, and then we leaving her wherever we met her at, and me and her are moving forward, and wham bam, thank you, man. We appreciate the experience. It was cool, but we're gonna go back to continuously growing and living our lives. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. But you are not getting in this mix of long term with us. We are a partnership, and that is all.
That's it.
That's it. I'm not into all that sister wives and shit.
No, man.
All
no,
that.
no,
That shit's I'm good, bro. I'm not trying to do all that.
Did you see that? There's a black dude that's dude down right now. He has like
He got 3 wives.
Yeah, you saw that? Yeah, man. He's out there and he's all giggling. He's like,
he's like, the housewife. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah, he's a house husband. That motherfucker. He don't do shit all day, but just wait for them 3 women to like rotate around the crib and shit.
Right?
That's all he do all day.
That's all he does. That's all he does. And it's that's crazy. Like, no way. It's almost like that's like almost
he must
like
be slanging, bro.
Oh, he has to be. He has to.
He gotta be slanging.
I think that's like a modern day like sex indentured servant. I'm not gonna say a slave because it's by choice. So like he's an indentured servant. You know what I mean? Like so like he's just probably just like out there just, hey man, all I gotta do is just stay in shape. You know, to deal with the kids in the morning, and just like slay at nighttime. You know, and listen to problems. That's it.
He probably I mean, more power to him, man. I'm good, man. I don't want. It's there has. I don't know what the negatives are, but I'm sure there's a lot of negatives that go on unspoken of that come with that. It's probably not as easy as people make it seem. Like you said, the balancing of people's emotions, balancing of time, and committing time to different people, and that's a lot to juggle, man. Then you throw the kids involved, and they're a lot. They consume a lot of time. So
right. Let's talk about the kid angle, because like how weird would that be if it was like, hey, like I have like 2 mommies and a dad. Like it's like there's
honestly,
like
probably
there's an LGBTQ.
It's probably not even. It's probably not even. I don't know. I'm sure it doesn't. It's probably not as big of a deal anymore because everyone has different family dynamic these days. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you're probably weird if you have just a mom and a dad.
That's true. That's true.
You're the outsider now, right? Like,
that's true.
You're just fucking normal. You ain't cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. What? You don't got 2 moms? Like. That's not even, because I remember having a kid, the first kid I worked with who had 2 moms and shit. That wasn't even a big deal. It was a bigger deal to me, I think, than to everyone else. I was like, yo, I've never had this. Like, I've never had to like counsel a kid with 2 moms. And like everyone's looking at me like, oh, this is whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just got to the point where I'm like, that's cool, whatever. You got 2 moms, cool. That's great for you. You got 2 dads, cool. 2-parent households, you're more likely to have better outcomes. That's how I see it as now.
Is this the new wave of relationships of modern day families? Like, are we going to be seeing a lot more of this, and this is going to be like normalized to the point where it's like those guys are now no longer gumps, are no longer like just. Like,
I think this
garbage.
is an American thing, bro. I think this is an American. You go outside this country. Christianity is still running the game. You know what I'm saying? You go to the east, or you go out to like those, Middle Eastern countries and shit. Muslims and the Quran and all that shit's still running that side of the world. Christianity is still massive. Catholics are still everywhere. I think this is just an American thing. I think it's next generation is just more open to different. Not everyone has to be the same. Not everyone's traditional.
Right.
I mean, just, whatever. Do what makes you happy, bro. I just know that wouldn't make me happy. Having 2 wives is not going to make me happy.
No, man. Like, get away from me.
Interested.
Like, go away. I get burnt out so fast, man.
Yeah, I like getting by myself sometimes. So to have somebody else I need to respond to and talk to and...
Right.
Kind of like check in with and shit. I'm like, God damn, I talk to enough people all day. Like, I talk to people all day, and I gotta add another person into the mix. I'm not interested.
No, not interested at all. Yeah, man. Kudos to all you new kind of style open relationship families. If we're off base on this, definitely email us halftimenaptimepod@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Because I'm interested. Oh, I'm in an open relationship, and I love seeing my wife getting piped down.
You're a fucking goof.
Cuck ass.
Yeah, goof.
Oh man, dude, that is some crazy stuff right there, boy. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Now, after all that fun stuff we just had, now we got to talk about the seriousness. Now we got to get into the real meat and potatoes because this one hits close to home to us both. Um, we have students that go to this particular high school. Can we say the high school on the
Yeah, it's
pod?
on the
Yeah,
news.
yeah, East. Yeah, okay. So East High School in Denver, and like we both like had students that we know very very well that go there right now. And there was a recent shooting there where two of the deans were both shot and wounded. Both of them are going to live. But still, the young man ended up going out 2 hours away up to the mountains, and he did the thing.
Completed.
Completed. Thank you. So today, up in Nashville, Tennessee, another one happened where what was it? Was it
Three kids. Three kids and three teachers.
There we go. 3 kids, 3 teachers. Also got deceased, and man, we heart goes out to them and their families. Before we ask my question, I'm gonna read you off the stats. So according to the 2023 Gun Violence Archives, 129 mass shootings have happened this year in the United States alone. 30 of those incidents happened on school grounds. 8 deaths have been reported, 23 injuries nationally, according to the Gun Violence Archive. What's your initial thoughts of the Denver East one, and then we'll go into like the whole nationwide, and we'll talk about what can we do, preventatives, and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, the Denver East one, that one was hard. It definitely hits home. So my school is about 2 miles away from Denver East. This is Denver East's third shooting on or near campus this school year. Right? Like you were saying, I've been here now. This is my 7th school year. Every year I've worked in middle school. So every year I know kids who go into East. So I know a lot of kids there. These deans, I have actually trained them in the past. When in my past position, when I was helping oversee all the deans in Denver public schools. So like that was really tough to see. The style in which they were shot, right? So executing the safety plan and doing the pat down. I've done that myself. I've been in that position where I am the one, myself and maybe a security guard are the ones checking in a kid every morning and making sure they don't have anything to either harm someone else or themselves. So like that is a very real scenario that happens often. It's very common across schools in America. It is it started like this whole argument and battle now in Denver of bringing SROs back, so safety resource officers. So around 2020, when the George Floyd thing happened, they removed all the high schools had police officers in there. So then they removed them because supposedly it was contributing to the school to prison pipeline, and that SROs and those type of positions never stopped the school shooting before. So now our superintendent has kind of erased that policy and gone against that policy and going to reinstitute SROs into all the high schools, right? And when we return from break. So although I work in a middle school, we are attached to a high school. So we will have an SRO present when I go back to work on Monday. And he or she would be with us for the rest of the school year.
How do you feel about that?
I'm cool with it. I mean, I was not in favor of removing them in the first place. I thought they were scapegoated. I don't see them as a problem. They may not be the best solution. They're definitely not the problem, though. I've never had an SRO go out of their way to ticket a kid or walk the halls and be a presence of intimidation. The only time SROs get involved is when the school brings them to be involved. Whether that's the principal, whether that's a teacher, going through to the principal. Usually it's the principal all the time, but there are different circumstances where a teacher makes a complaint to the principal, and a part of their complaint and a part of what they want as a resolution involves the police. So I believe they were scapegoated. They were framed as you were the problem and you're the reason why there's this boom of the school to prison pipeline, when in actuality that I don't believe that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of reading skills is why kids go to jail.
Yep.
Lack of parenting and understanding of emotional regulation is why kids go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Going to shitty schools is why they go to jail. Those are the reasons. And I also feel like that position could be a bridge to, get the community to have more buy-in with the police. You teach them at a younger age of like, they're not just all bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm cool with them being there. In my high school, and this what irritates me is like in my high school, we had metal detectors that we were supposed to walk through every morning. And we literally had Chicago Police Department housed in our school. We had 2 to 3 officers there every single day. Not once that I think those motherfuckers sitting in that office had anything to do with me going to prison in the future. I never thought about like me walking through a metal detector made me feel less of a person and like motivated me to go to jail. And all I keep hearing is from folks who never went to schools like that. I don't understand why you wouldn't want that extra level of protection, and people are all worried about the optics. But you can't walk into a bank. Most banks have an armed guard.
Yep.
You can't go to the air. How do you feel going to the airport? Do you feel like you're going to go to it's airport to prison pipeline?
Yeah.
When you're trying to go to take a flight?
Yeah.
Like you take your shoes off. You're treated like you're going through county, but no one makes a fuss there. Well, it's a big deal because we're gonna take these extra precautions to support children. And they just think like changing the laws are going to help. And that's another issue I have is I also believe that no one needs an assault rifle. 100% believe that.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need an assault rifle. There's nothing you need it for.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing. You don't use it for hunting. Right? There's nothing you need an assault rifle for. So if we put this law and you ban it from all the good people, cocaine and drugs are illegal federally, but yet they still find their way here in the wrong hands. So with that being said, wouldn't assault rifles still find a way to get here? Maybe not as an abundance, right? Maybe not as an abundance, but it's still going to get here. How do we stop that part? Because that's what I think about. I think it'll slow it down for sure. Because you can't just have like your uncle go get one. Because now you have to really go search for one. And maybe that would deter people from even wanting to go and get one to do a shooting in the first place. Because it's going to take a lot of legwork. You have to know people.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the black market on the internet. And a lot of these freaks who go out and shoot people and do this shit, if they're atypical and not social, they know their way around a computer.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
or a gun show.
You know what I mean? But if they're illegal, they couldn't sell them at a gun show.
Mm-hmm.
So if you take all that off the table, all you're really left with is the internet, which people know how to navigate. I have students who keep telling me about like the black web and all this shit.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know how to get on there, but if they can figure it out at 12 years old, what tells me like a 25-year-old who really wants to do something dangerous, why couldn't they figure it out?
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, going back to like the SROs, you always keep hearing like, oh, like statistics say, they don't prevent shootings from happening. My rebuttal to that would be, how can you really know the accuracy of that? Because I guarantee you, people have tried to or thought about doing a school shooting and didn't go because there was security there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't talk about that. You know what I mean? So like today's shooting in Nashville, they were saying this is a woman actually, which is kind of shocking.
28-year-old woman. It's very shocking.
They were saying that her initial target was another school, but she didn't go there because she knew they had security, better security measures than this private school. So in that case, it wouldn't probably show up in like a database or like a statistic, but that security presence stopped her from going there to her initial place and made her go to somewhere else where they didn't have the same security measures.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is what the value of an SRO can bring. And I think what we also need to do is like those local departments don't send the retiring officer there to be the SRO, because that's what you end up usually getting. It's like a sweet gig, because 99% of the time there's probably nothing going to happen. Right? I'm probably most of the time nothing is going to happen, but then something does happen, and I'm stuck with a 70-year-old officer finishing off their career, who's out of shape, can't do much, and that's who I'm stuck with. And I think that's a bigger issue, or another issue. Not a bigger issue, but another issue. Just something to think about. Like, who are we sending?
Mm-hmm.
But I think SROs need to be in schools. I don't think they promote the school to prison pipeline. You always need to remember that school to prison pipeline starts at the hand of an educator. Whether it's a teacher, whether it's a social worker, a psychologist, somebody, the principal, assistant principal, somebody told that SRO to write this kid a ticket. They don't go around giving tickets. That's not what they do. 99% of the time, they want to sit in their office and not be bothered. I mean, totally. I don't feel any. I guess you maybe don't feel any safer because you don't really see them around. But when they are around, people say that people start complaining that, oh, look, the optics are bad and this is not a prison and blah blah blah. But then, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to pick what side are you going to be on? And I just thought they were scapegoated. They should be in schools. Kids have more access to weapons these days. People are just crazier.
Yeah.
Why not have just a little bit extra layer of safety, man?
Yeah. It just seems like they're so easy to get nowadays. Like you said, that dark web, and then you get the serial numbers scratched off of them. What do they call them? Ghost guns?
Yeah.
Just anybody can now, go and get one and do what you want to do. Put in like whatever kind of work you're putting into. I want to go back to a little something that you said. First, I'm going to talk about the safety checks, because I've done plenty of safety checks in my day. At least helping, assisting officers on campus or the security on campus. I never would thought that I would lose my life doing one of those. You know what I mean? Or get shot at and possibly lose my life that's one thing. So, big ups to those deans out there, because those are good dudes. Those are good dudes out there. They just want to exactly, and then like they just want to improve the culture of the school. And they just want to help kids. Like that's their job, and they love their jobs. That's what they're there for. Because if anybody who's done a dean or like a principal of culture, restorative, even down to paras and EAs, like you're in it for the love of like the kids that you're dealing with. You love your job. You love the interactions that you get through every day. You're gonna have some crappy days, but at the same time, you lean on the kids and you lean on like, hey man, this is let's have some fun today. Let's chop it up. Let's make some jokes about each other. That kind of stuff. It's a fun job. It's a fun job overall. And like shout out to those guys for still being here and doing a great job over there at a huge school, humongous school. Second thing is to help alleviate a lot of the mental health pressures. I was talking to Long Term today about this, and like she's like, oh, you guys should talk about this and this and this. She's giving me like little cues and updates, and I started talking to her about like just communities of lower economics, especially like, Black communities. You have the Hispanic communities over there in like West Denver. And if you ask those kids and you say, hey, when's the last time you've been up to the mountains? Has anybody took you up there just to go on a hike and just go see like what's up there? And like, dude, 90% of those kids would be like, no, hell no. Like, nah, man, Mr. G, that shit is whack. That shit is like, for the birds. That shit is white. Like, you ask them like, hey, like, you guys ever like actually been to like and dressed up nice and like been to like a nice like restaurant? You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter like what, if it's Italian, barbecue, some eatery, like anything that's over like 20 some dollars a plate. And a lot of these kids like, no, a lot of these kids don't know much and the lower socioeconomic. And I think we can help that portion. Now, the point I'm getting to is the portion that we can help are those that are on like the side of the internet, like that dark web and that evil mindset that like maybe, hey, you might have two affluent parents. You might have, a mom or a dad who really cares about you, but you're still thinking those thoughts and like you might be middle class and you still might pull.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because everyone's like, "Oh, more mental health, more mental health, more mental health is fucking hard."
Way hard.
Bro, more mental health is really hard, dude. Like, for one, people have to go to college for it,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's one. Two, not there's not a lot of school psychologists out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're very rare. It's an old profession. This whole mental health push for school psychologists has just started maybe in the last 15 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Previous to that, all they know how to do is give cognitive and academic assessments. That's all they did all day, every day. That they look to see if is this kid intellectually disabled or not. Can they read? Can they do? That's what they were looking for. This whole shift to mental health is new. So look, check this out real quick. Check this out. So in the state of Colorado, most of the programs are PhD programs.
Yeah, you can't do that like that.
Who's going to get a PhD to go work at an elementary school?
Especially for like 50, 60 grand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're only making 60 grand. Like, and that's why people they just keep saying blind ass statements. Like, we need more mental health. Denver puts hella money into into mental health. They try. Right? The manager, I know personally, the manager of school psych out here, so in social work, this woman flies around the country to try to recruit people to come here because she's trying to build up a stronger team to spread out across the city of Denver. But it's hard, dude. Every single year, it's hard. Right? Social workers, counselors. It's very hard to get people in the schools to do that. So it sounds great in theory. And then check this out. Just because you offer it doesn't mean people want to do it. You cannot force mental health onto people. And children are stubborn. I can't even get kids to sign up for substance abuse therapy when they're vaping all the time. I can't even get some of the kids to do that, to commit to that, to 3 or 4 sessions to talk about something that's easy to prove that is bad for you. Mm-hmm. Now you're expecting the same middle schooler to open up to somebody and tell them their deepest, darkest secrets. That takes a very special person to do so, and not everyone can do that. Even if you went to school to be a school psychologist or a social worker, that doesn't mean you're going to be good right out the back. It's going to take years for you to develop your craft, just like any other skill set, any other job, any other career. Except yours might have some life or death situations attached to it.
Right.
It's like that's just an easy blanket statement to say more mental health. Obviously.
Yeah. It's also
obviously
it's also naive. It's a little naive, and it's like not really taking into account the situation. And on top of that too, I think if you're gonna provide more mental support, I think it should be more of, hey, like, we're attacking the kid at the school, while like other people are helping out with a family at home and providing a full-on wraparound support for everybody. Because if your kid is having these emotions and feeling this way that he wants to hurt people violently, like the way that is, then I think the parents are going to need some help and support too on how to figure this out, how to deal with this, and give them some coping skills and some mechanisms on how to deal with their kid. But you're right. So like, if we're going to be throwing support, think about like all the degrees that need to be had, all the time spent of just interning, just to actually get to that point to where you can actually go into a home and, and help these people. You ain't lying, man. Like I think that like that just saying, oh, they need mental health, oh, they need mental health, oh, they need mental health is almost like a cop out. It's almost just like that, hey, like we're saying the right things, but like we're not actually putting together a real plan. Exactly.
It's bullshit. Exactly. And it pisses me. As someone who actually does the work, right? I am a nationally certified school psychologist. Mm-hmm. This is the work that I do. And I'm telling you, when I go to school psych meetings, and I've been to school psych meetings in Colorado, Illinois, I've been to the national conferences, I have talked to people all around the U.S. who have the same skill, on paper, have the same skill set as I do. They do not practice the same type of therapy that I practice. Mm-hmm. Some of them don't even do it. A lot of them don't do it. A lot of them don't even understand it. Like I said, because it's an old profession. So you still have a lot of school psychs out there who graduated in 1990. Yep. Or, before 2000. And they're still practicing. And they're really, really good at doing an IQ test. But you know what? In 2023, if you could just give the test, now they have this thing called Q Interactive where you put the scores in. Not only does it give you all the scores, it gives you a synopsis of what the profile of this kid is. Mm-hmm. Before all of this, they had to think of that on their own. They had to come up to their own conclusion. So you don't even need that skill set anymore. You need the more modernized skill sets. But again, you're not getting as many school psychologists as you need to fulfill the need. The demand is there.
Right.
You need, and people, it gets me so fucking pissed off when people are just like, oh, you need more mental health. You need more teachers. No shit. No one wants to be a teacher. No shit. No, oh, duh. We need more teachers. No fucking shit. You didn't think I noticed? You didn't think I noticed when I need 10 subs a day that I need more teachers? And guess what? There's no subs either.
Yep.
Like there's no teachers to begin with. There's no subs. There's no school psychologists. There are less and less school administrators because they're getting burnt out because their role has changed. It's not just budget anymore.
Nope.
Right? It's not just like kids are not coming to school filled.
No. Like you gotta have a sub. Like if you're
you got a sub.
You got a sub.
Yeah. As an administrator, I sub. I have one-to-one like therapy sessions that just happen. I end up doing it with the parent, with the kid. I'm running over here. I'm doing lunch duty. I'm doing before school. I'm doing after school. I'm all over the place. I'm not just sitting in my office, and filling out a budget spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. I wish I was doing that. But it's modernized, bro. Like, these kids have such high needs. Mm-hmm. It's so different. I hate when people just get more mental health. Like, bro, people are trying. People are trying to do it. They just are. The demand is so much, man. You know how long it takes to do one of those threat appraisals for the safety plan?
It takes. Oh, those threat appraisals.
That's a 3-hour. Yes. If you do a full threat appraisal, so we have a thing called a PIG-F, the preliminary gathering, and then we do a threat assessment, a full threat assessment. If you do just the PIG-F, right, that's probably like an hour.
Yeah.
Now, if I have to do the full threat appraisal plus the safety planning, you're looking at 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours minimum. Depending on why you're doing this, 2 to 3 hours minimum. Then create that plan. Then you have to show everyone and teach everyone what's their specific role in the plan.
Exactly.
Like, this is not an easy feat to do, man. This takes it's a lot of time and a lot of
And
stakeholders.
heaven forbids, like while you're doing the interviews, like the kid says something like off cup that like now you have to do an essay, like so like it's an SAR, like just like
It's a lot.
if
It's
you're
just a lot.
it's so much, it's so much. If you were politician Benji pulls up, you know, like hey, like I'm here to save the day. I'm here to change the education system for Denver, Colorado. This is how I'm gonna do it. What would be your like 5 point plan or your 10 point plan? Like what would be your overall plan?
We are utilizing SROs in all schools. In all schools. Maybe not elementary, but I will strategically make sure that my squad cars are within striking distance as needed per zone. All high schools and middle schools will have SROs. 100%. All searches will be done by SROs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a kid on a safety plan that requires a search, that patrol will start his day at that school and move forward. Right? That's going to have to happen. Obviously, I want to increase mental health. I'm going to put it out to the world. Hey, we need mental health providers. If you're interested in living in Denver, Colorado, this is what it offers. This is what life in Colorado can give you. If you're looking for them outdoor, you got to sell it. That's how I got here. They sold it to me. They didn't sell me the job. They sold me everything that comes with Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
They sold me the mountains. They told me about the weather. All that. That's what they sold me. Same thing. We need to find a way to same thing with teachers. Trying to get teachers. How do I get more teachers in? There are schools with no one. I think a lot of these schools can be condensed. I know people are against it. They need to be condensed. Because as of right now, we're getting less and less teachers. You're going to have bigger schools. We have too many small schools.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get rid of that shit. That doesn't make sense. You need more K-8s, less separation of K-5 and 6 through 8s. More K-8s.
Would you lower the requirements for what it takes to be a teacher? Because nowadays, like,
they're already low. They're already low. I mean, I don't think you can go any lower, bro. Like, they alternative license. We have alternative license for everything. I mean, I'm on an alternative route for a principal license.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how bad it is out here. I've never heard of that. For a principal,
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting an alternative license to be a principal. You cannot do that with a psychologist because you need to actually study to be able to, classify students for special education.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing for social work. You can't get an alternative. But for teaching, they have already done that. And I know states are looking at like only requiring an associate's degree. I think that could maybe be only beneficial for like if you're teaching primary grades.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you get past maybe like third grade, you need to have in-depth knowledge of a specific content.
Mm-hmm.
You need it. Younger kids, you might be able to get away with it. And I would say the more and more we have, evidence-based curriculums, you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're literally just regurgitating, for the most part. I know some teachers, there's a teacher out there that are going to get mad at me for saying that. But a lot of y'all are just regurgitating the shit that's in front of you.
Right.
What makes a special teacher great is their ability to connect. It ain't what you're talking about. Because your kids, with all due respect, they can Google search all these fucking answers. And right now, and there's apps that tell you the answers. You can figure all that shit out over time. But what you can't figure out online is how to connect with people. Mm-hmm. And that's where teachers can be great. Special teachers connect with children. And they use their content to connect with those teachers or with those students. They get them to think.
I agree with that.
But most of that shit is handed to you. If you get a curriculum, you have the answers. Even when we were kids, I remember you can get that teacher guide, that fat ass book, and all the answers were in pink.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? All the answers were in pink.
Oh yeah.
But those teachers I had who connected with me, who went above and beyond to have those interpersonal relationships, are the ones I remember, and the ones that kept me going.
Do you think that could happen like still now, like because like they're so like teachers are so tied up now. Like even in their planning periods, a lot of them are subbing and taking other sub positions while they're planning periods. You think like teachers are just stretched way too thin right now?
I know. I mean, depending on where you're at, for
Mm-hmm.
sure, for sure. I know I have teachers who sub almost every day.
Mm-hmm.
They get paid for it, but it's still like exhausting. But I think that's the benefit of having a curriculum handed to you.
Yeah.
If it's truly like gift wrapped to you and you need to just make some slight accommodations and maybe some scaffolds, I think that's great. And as a teacher, I don't understand why people are opposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are put in a situation where you're asked to sub a lot and you're asked to do extra things, I'd rather put my energy into building those bonds with the kids
Yeah.
and using this pre-packaged program for me. Because, like I said, that shit can all be taught through a computer and stuff. You cannot teach, you know, interpersonal skills on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are programs to help supplement, but there's a lot of power you can have in that, and those just human interactions. And I think if we focus more on that, academics are going to follow through.
If you were to sell a young man, especially like a young man of color, or even like just a young man in general who's got a promise in business, has a promise in like STEM or something, how would you sell that young man to jump into education?
I mean, if you're like a genius at STEM, I want you to create something that can go to benefit education.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you can, if you can really make a product that would be geared towards kids who struggle the most, that would be the best contribution you can make. And if you have that skill set, I want you to continue on that route. Now, if you just have an interest in math or STEM or science and all, if you have an interest in it, but you have a passion and love for children, then I would hope that you would consider getting into a classroom,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you are from that same background. And if you can afford the time, I would highly recommend being a school psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
You learn a great skill set. You have a desired position that's always looking to hire. I can get a job any state, I can get a job anywhere.
Come here to
Anywhere.
Vegas.
Anywhere. I can go anywhere right now. I can put out my application to every state and I will get a job offer in every state right now if I really wanted to continue working as a school psychologist. If all has failed, I have a great thing to fall back on. So I think those are two great options, but we need better curriculum out there. There are some good ones, some evidence based ones, but if that's really your jam, I need you to go balls to the wall with it and make it um, available for all schools,
Mm-hmm.
particularly those of lower income, because
Mm-hmm.
lower income schools like mine are the ones that have the most burnout.
Yep.
We have the most, the largest academic gaps. We have the kids with the most barriers. My teachers need something like that to where they can, that I can't, it sounds bad, but academics right now should not be at the forefront. We need connection first. We need connection. And it's been very hard to sell that because everyone's worried about standardized testing scores.
Yep.
Everyone's worried about CMAS scores, CMAS
Yep.
scores, CMAS scores. And I was like, well, for one, once you understand that like CMAS is standardized testing is average, looking for the average, right, of America. Well, CMAS would be the average of Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I know all my students are down here. So to me, CMAS doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean as much as to me as everyone makes it seem. I know that this test and what standardized tests look for is what the typical American, so in our case, would be the typical Coloradan.
Mm-hmm.
I understand my students' population is atypical.
Yes.
Right? I have 90% low income.
Mm-hmm.
I have like 70% ELL.
Mm-hmm.
So I already know the odds are stacked against them. I'm looking for growth. I want to be number one in growth. Maybe not achievement. I want to be number one in growth because that shows that's a reflection of the work that's being done within my building.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to be. I wouldn't say never, but more than over time, from 6th grade to 8th grade, if I had that same group of kids, maybe achievement wise, I can hit average by the time they're in 8th grade, and that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But there should be a massive growth every single year.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for at this school. Now, when I'm at another school like where we used to work together,
Mm-hmm.
average is not good enough.
Yeah.
That school was a high performing school. We're already above average. I want to take it up to the next. We should be highest in achievement. We may not be as high in growth, but we should be very high in achievement because growth is hard. Once you're already above average, it's hard to show massive gains of growth.
Right.
But I should have high achievement across the board. That's what I'm expecting from that type of school. So you got to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In order to get where you want to go. And people just be like, oh, standardized testing is stupid. No, it's not. It's not stupid. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for it. High stakes tests, stupid. Mm-hmm. Standardized testing, not stupid. These kids have to compete against each other moving forward. You're competing for the same jobs when in 10 years when they're not in front of you anymore.
Yeah.
So.
You're only as good as your teachers. I'm voting for Benji. You guys should too. Yeah.
Telling you.
2024, vote for Benji.
Future, let's see. I was telling my wife, I was like, man, one day I'm going to run for school board.
You should. I don't know why. I mean, like, hey, man, the only thing that's stopping you right now is you making the decision. You know,
I work for it. You can't run for school board when you work for the school district.
Well, and there you go. So then you have a reason that you're out. You know, going to politics. He's got fundraise. Now you're gonna be the fundraiser, like the Boondocks used to say, the fundraiser. But I think you can do it, man. I think you can do whatever you put your mind to.
Give me your money, or I'm gonna act a fool. Vote for Benji.
Slug it of the new campaign. It sounds like we're like a grifter than anything. Oh, goodness gracious. We'll work on that. I'll be your campaign manager. We'll work on that. Now that'll work for some constituents, not all of them. We gotta do some more demos. Any last words?
Yes, last words. Parents for school-age children. A good way for you to get involved is finding out what security parameters your school has. Is there a safety officer? If not, do they practice, evacuations for serious circumstances? Mm-hmm. If so, how often? Have conversations with your kids because they know about all this stuff that's happening. Yeah. Especially if it happens in the same town or city you live in, it trickles. So when we had that East shooting, kids at my school were already ramped up about it. Mm-hmm. So you want to make sure you're having that level of conversation. If you can, try to listen to, if you have a board, try to tune into a board meeting here or there. More than likely, school safety is going to be in the agenda within this month. I know here it's a big hot ticket because we actually had a localized shooting. So we will be hearing about it for a while. I would suggest you tune in. Most of them you can stream. You can listen to it on your phone like you're listening to our wonderful podcast. Mm-hmm. So I would highly recommend you tap in and listen and see what's going on with your children's school. And if you have questions, ask them. Right? They work for the public. I work for the public. Our job is to ensure that you have a belief in what we are serving. And if you don't, you have all the right to speak out against it.
Yep.
Your tax money goes to your public education. You should have some type of say in it. Yep. So please take advantage of it. If you say some dumb shit, just know that there's a good chance somebody's going to call you out on it. Yeah. Because I've seen it happen. But go in there as an informed parent and, advocate because it's scary out there. And just again watching this and hearing that shit today, and like it was a pre-K through fifth grade school.
Yeah.
You know, just thinking about like in a few years my daughter would be off to pre-K. I don't want to be a parent going to a school, to my daughter's school, to try to find her and see if she's alive or not, because her school was involved in a school shooting. So my heart and prayers out to those families that were impacted today, and those kids who are indirectly impacted with the loss of their teachers, peers, students that they may or may have known. This is something that's going to live with them forever. And I hope they're able to find some peace in it.
Yeah. This moment in their life is going to change their trajectory for sure. And like, we just wish the best for the families, for the mothers and fathers out there that have their children witness such a tragedy. It's heartbreaking, and it's going to bring trauma for the years to come. But just keep your heads up and stay healthy. That's all I can say. I'm tired of giving out thoughts and prayers, man, because like it's just all we do. It's like what we say, like it's almost every single day we're giving out thoughts and prayers. You know what I mean? So just maintain health and be well. I wish you guys all the best and love and support. Make sure you're also too, like Benji said, you're active in your communities, your community meetings, and your school meetings. If you're not showing up to your parent-teacher conferences, that's the first step. Show up to your parent-teacher conferences at least and talk to your teachers and get to know your teachers before you come out there making assumptions and like so you have to hold your kid accountable for what's going on, and maybe hold the teachers accountable by saying, hey, like what's going on right now with you and my daughter or you and my son that we can help out right now. So that's number one. Going to those parent-teacher conferences is definitely number one. Number two, like if there is a PTA or type of like a school board or school meetings for parents that happen that aren't, parent-teacher conferences, go to those too. Just be a part of your community, be a member of your community, do your homework, like Benji said, do your homework. Know what's going on so you can be a more effective parent, and then also too, like that information you can spread down to your kids, and then now you have an investment in your child's education. I think that's very important. I think that's lacking in a lot of our communities, especially if you're down bad and like it's like you're having rough situations going on at home. At least you can present to them that, hey guys, even though I'm working my ass off to try to make sure we put food on the table and keep their lights on and everything, I'm still invested in your education moving forward, and we're not just thinking about now, we're thinking about 2 years from now, 4 years from now. We have plans for you to be successful so you don't have to live the way you're living currently right now. What are you going to do right now after this podcast?
One last thing. So like before your parent-teacher conferences, make sure you go home and wash your ass.
Preferably with a loofah, a wash rag, and a really, really good bar soap. Don't use that generic off-brand Old Spice. That's garbage. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We love you. Stay safe out there. And yeah, we'll be back again next week.
Peace.
Peace.